Hey, how's it going? Um, Forewarning, I don't exactly have a whole lot to talk about today. Uh, Nothing really terribly exciting happened these past couple of days. So, you know, I was gonna say, I did end up, picking up Lily from the airport and everything like that, and we sort of just hung out for the past couple of days. I didn't upload yesterday because she basically she called in Monday and just decided to hang out, have a 3 day weekend to herself. Well, not really to herself, but you know what I mean, away from work. Um, and Yeah, we basically just spent these past 3 days or so just hanging out. Um, she uh, she was out in Utah for a little bit at a friend of hers wedding, and she was having a good old time. Uh, just doing that. Um, since she's been back, we finished up the main anime of Fairy Tale. We still have a movie or two, and if I decide to go into the OVAs, then you know, um, I'm just not the biggest fan of non dubbed animes. Uh, I don't know. I don't like to read subtitles and try to watch the show at the same time. So, um, we did watch a decent bit of Psych together because she's enjoying that show, and that makes me happy. Um, we well, she was playing PSO, New Genesis. It's like an online MMO, and it's one of those games that she really enjoys enough that she convinced me to re-download it and try to play it with her. We're supposed to do that tonight, I guess. Um, so I haven't played it in a long time. Um, yeah, I suppose I should talk about something kind of interesting, maybe not so. I don't know. These past couple of weeks, I've been having issues sleeping or staying asleep, and I've been having like severe nightmares and just I don't know. My brain is trying to destroy me. I don't know. That's what it feels like some days. But yeah. So one of those days where I had woken up in a cold sweat, fucking terrified after having a seizure, because that's been happening a lot more in my sleep. Um, I started to kind of lose my mind a little bit. I ended up calling uh, a mom, and she was doing the parent thing, and telling me I should I should try to seek help uh, through pretty much any means that are available. But I gotta be honest, most of me just needed somebody to talk to. I had been cooped up in the house for way too long. I haven't been able to get out and actually walk around for a couple of days. Me and Lily did it yesterday or the day before, or something like that, because she wanted to play Pokemon. Um, so yeah, I didn't get the opportunity to get out and actually talk to anybody, which sucks. Um, it definitely does make me realize how much I rely on, even minor conversation with people. And, Lily being gone most of the day and then spending, a few hours with me is. It's still torture, but it's not as bad as. It's not as bad as, like, the 3 days she was gone. I don't know. I think it was really only the first day that she had actually been gone that I actually had issues. Um, I don't know. I don't know that the two are related, like, at all, but it wasn't pleasant, I didn't feel right in my own head. I was panicking. I'm pretty sure I was having a panic attack at the time, but, you know, I haven't had one in a long enough time that I it didn't really feel the same. I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably not. But yeah, so things were starting to calm down and whatnot after I made the call with her, and I started to think straight again. And then I've kind of had this like issue before, and when it happened, the thought in my mind was um, sensory overload. At least that's what I was assuming it was. So I was like, okay, what's the best way to fight against sensory overload? Sensory deprivation. So in the past, I haven't had like earplugs or anything like that, or whatever. But today, I just so happened to have some, or that day. So I popped them in, and things just felt 1,000 times better. Like it was odd because it's not like there's really a whole lot around me at any given time that's you know cause for sensory overload, which is so weird. I have one noise that's constantly going all the time, and then occasionally, like the TV's going, or I'm playing music in the background or something like that. But other than that, there's nothing really that would really seem like it would overload my senses. But I don't know. I really don't know what it was. But popping in like some uh, like earplugs definitely help. Uh, Constantly, I have the air conditioner going because it's been one hell of a hot summer. Um, so that's not exactly something I can turn on without making the cat sick or you know driving myself further like insane. Um, but I do what I can to try to mitigate my sensory overloads. I don't even know what the hell causes it. That's the weird thing. Um, Something else I was looking into was something about like suppressing emotion. Because I was curious if that might have any negative effect on the human body. And there's apparently been a couple of studies from what I was reading. I could be, I could have been reading something entirely wrong, but from what it seemed like was uh, people who tend to suppress, like certain types of emotion, and don't allow themselves to really feel at all, tend to have a lot of complications, I guess, like medical or otherwise. Emotional state tends to be haywire, uh, and it just makes things a lot worse. for that individual. And I started looking at, some of like the long term effects. And I started noticing like a lot of similarities and whatnot, but I was like, okay, these could just be chalked up to, you know, they're similar things. Like they're, some of the same side effects and whatnot of having done all this. And then I started recognizing a couple of things that were a little more specific. And one of them that kind of just stopped me entirely, pseudo seizures, or PNES, essentially the same thing. Um, and yeah, apparently, if you tend to suppress like a lot of negative emotion, you uh, tend to bottle up a lot of that kind of stuff. Not necessarily bottle up, like don't let yourself feel it or express it. Uh, you can tend to, in a way, it's like overloading your brain, right? Like the best way that I think I can possibly explain it, from what I understand, is imagine trying to blow up a balloon with all of these different, you know, different types of air or whatever. Um, and let's just say, like, you have to let out certain amounts so you can continue to put different types of air in it. And if you don't, like, if you don't let certain things vent, like, out, it'll blow up. And I guess that's kind of what it is. I don't know. That's a shit analogy, but I did my best. Uh, but yeah, it's like trying to blow up a balloon just right, I guess. Um, yeah, I like I said, it's a really shit analogy, but it's the best I can come up with. Um, but you know, apparently all of that buildup and whatnot could cause things like pseudo seizures or PNES. Again, they're the same thing basically. um, yeah, it's interesting. The reason why I started looking into it is because I noticed that I have issues, like experiencing emotion, uh, a lot of the same ways other people do, and a lot of that kind of just comes with, uh, I don't mean this in the way that it might sound, but a lot of it can come with like having a higher intelligence. Not that I'm smarter in any way than anybody. It's just I tend to overthink a lot of things in terms of, well, every aspect of my own life. And if something doesn't seem necessary or whatever, I just cut it out, you know? So when certain emotions make me feel certain ways, I want to try to cut them out. Granted, that doesn't always seem to work the way that I want it to because I find it a lot more difficult for me to experience, like certain types of happiness and, enjoyment of certain things. I find it difficult for me to stop doing things that I know are bad for me. But, you know, one would call it like an addictive personality or, I don't know, self destructive behavior. Regardless, I don't really know how to fix that. Uh, I don't know. In the past, I would kind of joke about the idea of like, oh, ignorance is bliss. I just wish I was a little more ignorant. Um, but I like to think that there's always some form of a logical solution to everything, you know? Like, every issue in the world, everything wrong with me, you know, I don't know. I like to feel that there's some sort of solution to just everything. Um, Whether that be actually true or not, you know, needs to be seen. But, you know, that's just kind of life, I guess. Endless struggle of trying to figure out solutions to problems. Um, but yeah, I gotta figure out the solution to my issue, you know? Uh, and before you say, stop overthinking, I don't think that that's a possibility. You know, I could try to direct my, thought life towards other things, which I've been trying to do. I've had probably one of the best mental health years of my life this year. So honestly, I'd say that that's a damn good thing. But that being said, I want to just continue to improve. I don't want to be like, okay, yeah, this has been the great one. That's it. I'm just gonna go back down that slippery slope, and I don't want to do that. I want to do everything I can to try to keep improving my mental health, and I think that comes with, you know, seeing successes and whatnot in my own life. And if I can, in some way or another, keep little successes coming, like, it'll make it'll make me that much more happy, maybe. I don't know. Uh, because I know the feeling of defeat numerous times can make a great victory that much better. Weirdly enough, I learned that from games like Dark Souls. you know, as an example, you're going up against a boss or whatever, and it just keeps kicking your ass every single time. So you go out and you try to work and get stronger and better, and you start to learn the punches and whatnot, and then eventually you beat it. It's this overwhelming just satisfaction. So I need to figure out how to apply that to daily, you know. But yeah, I think I may have found a little bit of a solution to some amount of happiness or enjoyment. Uh, as I've mentioned in the past, I have a list. I have a goal, several goals that I want to achieve within certain amounts of time. Um, in the coming month, I have to have a job. That is by far the number one thing, right? There's no particular reason why I need a job before then, or by that time, but I essentially told myself I have to be working uh, by the time I hit October, because it's my birthday, more or less. Um, but I don't really know what I'm planning on doing. Like, there's a good chance that if I start, I might try to do it, you know, after the 5th or whatever, whenever Lily decides to take off. She was talking about today how she wanted to try to take off a day for my birthday. Um, I basically told her uh, either the Monday of that week or the Friday of that week, whichever one would give her a 3-day weekend. Because I'm more or less trying to think of her, you know? So, yeah. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with the cats. My baby girl. And then Buttons over there. Buttons is out cold. Blanca's just chilling. But yeah. I suppose until then, uh, that's all I got. So, for whatever reason you like this, I don't know why. um, go ahead and do the usual. Um, and until next time, peace.